Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free impartial advice on all your debt.
Razabani for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. With me, I've got on Zoom today my man, the nutritionist king, Mr. Greg Marriot. Greg, how are we doing?
I'm good. Well, I'm all right. I'm a bit gutted, but it's what it is.
We've been speaking throughout the whole week about this big fight with that happened last night, Kell Brook and Terence Crawford, and I did give you props and said, listen, Greg, I've known you for a while. I've known Kell for a long time or so, and this is by far the best I've ever seen him look, absolutely shredded and lean. Let's talk about his weight first. How was he during this particular camp, and why did you say earlier to me that this was the best he made 147, or one of the best times he made 147?
You know as well as I do. We all know what Kell blows apart fights. And listen, when you yo-yo diet, you do metabolic DNA damage. Like I said in my last interview, it's harder to get back down. So you have to give yourself time. Like any boxer knows, you get older, it gets harder and harder. But for this camp, he came out, I was like, wow, do you know what I mean? His weight's... How can I put it? Every single camp is done. I've got so much data, like, is this weight this far out, this weight, and it come to me like, wow, you've never been this weight this far out. This is crazy. We can actually work with you now properly. So that's why we're in the best shape of his life. He give him the time. It weren't no magic food that I've given. Do you know what I mean? It's been the exact same. It could just do more. It could just be fueled more. You know, we didn't have to cut, and have them days where he were on his arse. We didn't have to do that. So yeah, he made weight the most comfortable he's ever made it. And to be honest, giving himself that advantage, probably as he's getting older, you know, and obviously time's against you, but he probably put himself like you were making it not the best for Spence, not making it best for, you know, for Golovkin, things like that. But it was the breeze too far, obviously. You know, it is what it is. I've spoke to him and he's obviously gutted, but he felt like you were all right. But obviously got caught with a shot that I think he were trying to land exactly the same as Crawford did, but obviously Crawford got there first. You know, simple.
Before we talk about the fight, I just want to get your thoughts on when you move up to Triple G and you move up to 160 to fight Triple G. From a scientific and nutrition perspective, does the body then struggle to adapt to when you want to come back lower again?
Listen, it was that big before Triple G. You know, it were a fight that I remember being in his kitchen and he were on phone to Eddie and he says, they've offered me Triple G fight, should I take it? I went, if you want. He went, yeah. And he said straight off, well, yeah, I'm taking it, kind of thing. He was massive at the time. I think he only got like 9 weeks, and I thought, wow, we're up against it. So making the weight that he did for Golovkin was just as bad as making 147 because he were even bigger. You know, so obviously it's not as demanding on body because you're not down at the silly weights, you know, but it was still as hard to get down to that weight. But a lot of people say, because he's been campaigning at them weights, then come back down to Spence, is that why? Spence camp were one of probably the worst camps we've ever done with Kell. You know, it was, you know, but that had nothing to do with anything. It was just obviously, making the weight at 147, but he got ill twice, you know, chest infections, and then obviously 3 years before the fight, he perked up, but we'd lost a lot of time. But at that point, what do you do? Do you say, no, we're not fighting because he came back and he had a spring in his step and he looked flat like he was flying? So it's a decision that obviously we'll make as a team to say, yeah, well, you know, we're fine now. But again, was it the wrong call? It's easy to say it in hindsight, Raz. But as a team and you're there, it is what it is. So, coming back down to 147, listen, it's always going to be a struggle. It always has been for Kell. It always has been. And he's always been a force at it against Spence, you know, even though when his eye had gone, he was that dog, he was fighting, but it's just, it's been a long time since that fight, and you just think, is it going to breach too far? And obviously, you know, better man won at night. It's just one of those things. Listen, anything can happen in boxing. And it did. And unfortunately, obviously, you know, Kell didn't succeed.
Everyone keeps saying that Kell struggles to make 147. If you had the option to say, Kell, your best weight is not 147, what weight would that be?
It's going to be 154, isn't it? It is. It is, definitely. Because it does, listen, you know, any fighter that's actually been through it, you know, actually really making weight hard. People do it wrong. When you do it the right way, and we did it the exact same way we've always done it before, so there's nothing that we didn't leave out, or nothing more, nothing less. It was just easier this time, guys. It was just, everything just fell into place a lot easier than like thinking, you know, I have to manipulate this. Everything just fell into place. Like doing a jigsaw and you're thinking wet piece of somewhat floor. Everything was just on the table and it just lined up. So there are no excuses, you know, kill it yourself. But yeah, 154, them last 2 or 3 pounds, I think it does take something from you. You know, I think it really does. But on a set of scales, you know, there's a lot of people, you know, you read what you do on Instagram, but after a bit you just flick it off. But you know, people saying, oh, you looked awesome on scales. And yeah, listen, I know scales don't win your fights, but you've got to get down to that weight. You've got to get down to that weight to be able to fight. So I'm saying, yeah, but you know, that's not won the fight. Of course it can. But there would be no fight if you didn't get to 147. So if you look like a sack of shit on scales and they weren't conditioned and you were all like, people would say, you know, he struggled again, it looks like shit. So it's a catch-22. He looks amazing, people are like, wow. And you're supposed to look like that. Every fighter's supposed to look like that really on scale. You know, I know obviously genetically gifted, but you're supposed to look your best. You know, I know that don't win fights, no, but it puts you in the best position to give yourself the best chance. You know, but obviously, again, got into the fight and it showed, but you'll never know until you do. You have to make that weight, and I can promise you this: it's the best he ever made it. You know, and it did look amazing, but the fight never got going. Rez, did it? It never really got going. You know, Crawford got out of first gear straight away after I think it was third when he changed to southpaw. And I thought Kell was going to switch with him, to be fair. And when he didn't, I thought he had a bad third round. Not a bad third round, but he got caught and I thought he's going to switch and he didn't. But listen, I'm no trainer. I don't know tactics whatsoever. But the fight for Kell didn't actually get going. It rolled before it started. So good luck. Listen, congratulations to Crawford. You know what I mean? I hope he goes on to unify division. I really do.
Kell walked into the Ingle gym at 10, 11 years old. I think he's been professional since he was about 18 years. So he's been in the game a long time. I know he's had a lot of stop starts. His most notable win was that Sean Porter. He's won a world title. He's earned a lot of money. I've spoken to quite a lot of people today, and they say that they can't see Kell fighting again. You know him better than anybody. What does he do? Does he carry on? What motivates him more? Because can he continue to compete at that elite level?
Listen, I know we're supposed to have this meeting earlier on, Ross, but I didn't want to pick form to no one. You know, I wanted to speak to Kell first. You know, he's 8 hours behind and he did phone me, so he got to phone me. And it's not that, Raz. I think you live with these people. His family, his missus, his kids, his dad, his mum, they're like my family. You know, I've been with him for the last 6, 7 years, you know, so it's like they become a part of you. So like when you're in there with them, you're feeling them. So like it is sad. It is sad, and it does make you feel a bit upset. But I just think when he phoned me today, he just said, Greg, he says, look, I says, is it time? Is it time? You know? And he went, I've had a good talk with family. He says, it could be. And listen, if he wants to roll what dice once again, I'd roll it with him, Raz, and not because. Oh, you know, a lot of people in this position won't touch him there. No, he's damaged goods. I don't want to put it into that because he puts my word out. No, it's not about that. You know, I made him get to weight as safe as possible. As safe as possible. You know, anything can happen in that ring. And yeah, because listen, when they say they don't play boxing, it's true. And I've never been in that ring, but I make him get into that. I make all my fighters get to weight as safe as possible. And that's the thing. If Kell wanted to do it again, I wouldn't say, I'm not touching you, Kell. If you really wanted to do it, I'd say, all right, let's go again. Let's get it. Let's throw one last dice and whatever you want to do, Kell, I'll be there for him. Do you know what I mean? He says, my boy. You know, it's like you treat one as one of your kids. It's like, it's weird, the relationship you get with fighters. And he's been loyal from day one, you know, and it's just, unfortunately, I couldn't go out of there because I'm in Fort Ventura and the COVID restrictions and not being able to come back for Billy Joe's fight. It is what it is. But he'll always be there. How many times he wants to do, but he'll never be a stepping stone for nobody. He'll never be. You don't want to end his career like that. And listen, he hasn't dodged nobody. You can't take anything from him. I do think that he's massively underachieved. And why is that? Listen, it is what it is. I was probably yo-yoed and done things. It's not the best bit. What is the best way? It's easy in hindsight looking back, but to be honest, I just said to him, I said, Carl might knock on the door. Nah. I said, but to be honest with you, do you really want that? I mean, people look at that and think, wow, he is washed up, but it's just sad. It is sad. I'm not going to talk too much about it, Rad, because it is upsetting when you've spent that much time in. But I did say to him, I said, you've got a beautiful miss or beautiful kids, a beautiful family. You've had a good career. I said, you're safe, you're healthy. I said, listen. And the thing is, they're entertainers. Boxers are entertainers. And we all sit down there and you all get your beers out. Oh, fighting's on tonight. Yeah, go on, knock him out. And the old keyboard warriors, yeah, we knew we were a load of shit. It's entertainment, Raz. You're in the entertainment business. And I'm not saying they're the puppets, they're getting paid. But, when you get people talking rubbish and they ain't got a clue about the sport, it's disheartening. But I do think that now, I just said to him, look, you just need to sail off into the sunset and do what you need to do. Because at the end of the day, you've walked away from sport. You can hold your head high and you're safe. Because it's just like a job. As soon as we get off this conversation now, your job's done for today. And you'll carry doing your own thing. And he needs to be able to, hold his head high and do that same thing. And not get hung up on, I could have done this, could have done that. Because you've got your life. You've still got your life. There's many more better days for him to come. Aside from boxing, and that's how it is.
Well, we wish Kell all the best with what he decides to do in the future. Greg, just before I let you go, I just want to touch on Billy Joe. Obviously, super middleweight fight coming up with Martin Murray. But since we're talking about weight, Billy being a world champion at 168, can he float between both middleweight and super middleweight?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'm trying to get him down as much as I can, so it can campaign at both them. For me, it's like out of frying pan into fire kind of thing, with the yo-yo diet, but listen, Billy's a super talent, a super talent. Everybody knows that. Just the way he is, his mindset, he'll tell you just as well as I do. He sat there many times and we've been on plane to Fort Ventura and he'll say, I promise you, he says, God, if I'm to lose this fight, or wherever we go, on plane, if he's to lose this fight, he says, let plane go down and kill me. It's like, he'd rather do that than lose. It's that winning mentality that he's got, and he takes that into his training, into his diet and into everything, gives everything, and like, that's special. To be someone like he is with a great talent, gifted, you can usually have that, but not turn it on at night. But what he's got is just, you can't buy it, and it's his true gift. So yeah, I think he can. I really think he can float between them, but it can be a lot better than he's been. A lot better. That's why we're out here. Listen, we've been on the camp since January, Raz. Went to Dubai, come back, Manchester, then Fort Ventura. This is the third time. It's just like, I'm tired now. I'm tired. But listen, there's only 3 weeks left. Less than 3 weeks to go, and listen, he's gonna do a number. I believe he's gonna do a sensational number on Murray, and then. He's promised me that obviously Christmas is not going to really be Christmas, but I've heard that before. But no, listen, he knows what's on back. He knows what's on back end New Year. You know what I mean? So that's definitely looming. I don't know if that Callum Smith one is done yet with Canelo. I'm not sure. I don't know, but he's definitely going to get Canelo next year. A massive fight. So he's not daft. So yeah, definitely. I think you'll see him probably retain both them belts.
Okay, all right, Greg, thank you so much for jumping on this afternoon, UK time, giving me a bit of your time. Wish you continued success in the final few days of camp, and then hopefully we'll catch up face-to-face when you're here back in the UK.
Cheers, Raz. Appreciate it, mate.
Greg Marriott, IFL TV, thank you very much.
Take care, pal. Bye.
Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free, impartial advice on all your debt.